Start to let your muscles begin to open up to the space on the floor. Feel your lungs expanding to all directions. And that nice long release. So the intention as we're getting started is one way that we can focus on our goals. And so if you think of driving, usually when you drive, at least if you're like me, I like to try to take the most direct route possible. But even in that, there's a lot of corners you have to take. There's a lot of windy roads around here. And so even trying to take the direct route, we're probably adding miles and miles on, depending on how far away you're driving, just by our route not being able to go exactly direct. If you compare that to what we call the bird's flight, like as the bird flies, that would be the absolutely most direct route. So think about this with our goals. With our goals, we can kind of take the route that everybody takes that's kind of windy. You learn as you go. You might have good vistas as you go, good memories. But there's also the way that you can approach it to get to that direct route. So that's kind of what we're trying to open ourselves to. That direct route isn't the route that everybody takes. Think of like maybe a hot air balloon or a plane. That's more the route that they take, getting all the way up in the sky to get to that spot. And so today with our goals, we're opening up ourselves to that more direct way of doing it. And we're doing this by envisioning in our bodies using really long lines. We'll be working especially on the hamstrings, helping those to get really long today. And also the spine. When in maybe some poses where we tend to round our spine, we're going to be focusing today on creating extra length there. And so in this way, we're helping to make it possible so that we can just envision that more like letting our intuition be our guide to help us know the direct way to get there instead. And so think of what goals you have, even just living a higher vibrational life, a more healthy life. And so these kinds of things will be what helps to lead us on. So as we're getting started here, let's begin. The knees coming to the chest. Do a little bit of rocking. It doesn't have to necessarily be fast, but this is a good chance to tune in, especially finding out if there's spots of our hips or our low back that are tight, because our intention would definitely be to help open those out with our legs today. So maybe 3 more good deep breaths. Okay, as we begin to release this left leg now, add some energy to that left side. So the foot's flexed. We're trying to keep the leg straight. The hip is solid on the ground. So with that little bit of activity on the left side, let's take an easy stretch of the right leg upward. So for this first moment, it's not anything too deep. We're just trying to straighten the leg out. Sometimes that actually means we need to back our leg away because that's how we can extend the fibers all the way long. But just let yourself get to that easy, straight leg, and we pause for a few moments, giving it space and time to open. You can feel how straightening helps to include a few of those extra muscle fibers that might not be if the knee were to be bent at all. Good, so from here, let's keep hold of this right leg. Maybe the left hand drops to the left hip so that as we open the right leg out wide, we're making sure not to lift the left hip up. We're only going so far as that's not required. And feel how there's a whole new section of muscles that are starting to get pulled by changing the direction here. Good, and lifting the leg back up, cross the straight leg about halfway over toward the left. This gets us into the outer hip, the outer thigh. Good. Returning the hip down. We're clasping back around the leg, trying to pull it in deeper now. So use your inhales to help to straighten the leg. And with the exhales, we pull it in just a little bit deeper. So don't feel like you have to pull in a foot deeper the first time. Just play with it with a game of millimeters or centimeters so that there's still more space to deepen. With the next inhale, straightening. Exhale, pulling even further. And just try to see how long we can continue this game, helping the edge to expand further and further. And notice that straightening is super important because to stretch the hamstrings, we have to contract the quads. So that contraction is what straightens the knee joint. You'll notice the kneecap kind of lifting, so that'll be what helps you know that it's getting there. Good, let's do 2 more cycles. A nice straightening, a nice pull if there's any more space. 1 more. Good. Then releasing the hands. Let's let this leg, this right one, lower all the way down. Once it touches, the left knee comes in. Let's set up an easy clasp around the thighs. Remember to sense an activity on the right side. So there's a little bit of flexion in that foot. It's pretty solid. So then from that clasp, let's begin to straighten this left leg up. This first one's just the easy one. So just trying to straighten, and whatever the angle that is, let it stay. The legs start to open out wide to the left. Feel that shift in the muscles. This right side is super solid. Good. When the leg comes back up, so it's at halfway to the other side. Getting into that outer hip. Okay, when the leg comes back up, reclasp, and this is the one where we go deeper each breath. So inhale, find new length. Exhale, pull. And keep on repeating that. Inhale, sometimes we take a bend and we didn't even realize it. So inhale, you'll re-straighten. Exhale, pull. Maybe 1 more deep breath cycle in. Good, out. And then from here, we're gonna start doing some straight leg switches. So walk the hands a bit higher up this left side. The right leg will hover above the ground. Then with your next exhale, switch the legs in your arms. We're gonna go slow at first. We'll eventually speed up. But at first, it's mostly about this top leg getting tugged into the stretch. The head can be up or down. It's kind of personal preference depending on how the neck feels. But really help the top leg get into a stretch. Each and every time, we've got a few more rounds at this slow pace, and then we'll have a chance to speed it up, getting some core strength in. Let's take 1 more each. And then we're gonna speed up the pace about twice as fast. If you're still doing good here, let's go for 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, One, good work. Resting the head, hug the knees in. Let's rock the hips just a little bit left and right. Feel yourself force the breath slow, helping to slow down that heart rate. And then sliding the hands to the outside edges of the feet or even the ankles. It's a happy baby. So from this happy baby place, let's extend one leg straight up to the sky. Feel that extension, that stretch. And then switch it to the other side. Good, and then let both legs try to go the straightest possible. It's okay if you're not all the way there. Good, releasing the hands. Let's plant the feet for a bridge pose. Hands are on the floor by the hips. So roll the hips up, then lift up one vertebrae at a time. Try to find that straight line from knees to shoulders. We're gonna try to hold here, continuing to breathe for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rolling all the way down. When the hips are back on the floor, keep the knees squeezing together. The right leg extends out with that knee touching. And so here we're adding in an aspect, a deeper aspect of the core. So inhale, we're gonna stretch the arms up overhead. Exhale, we flap the arms through the sides like a wing, and then try to rise up as much as we can, lift the back off. And then inhale back down. So exhale, trying to go for 9, 8, 7, 6. Getting really good warmed up really quickly. Here's 4, 3, 2. This last one, grab onto the right leg, and as your back returns down, pull that right leg even deeper than before. Again, helping the breath to slow down. Okay, both feet planting again. This time left leg shoots out. We've got one more side with this. So inhale, stretch up overhead. Exhale, let's try to aim for 10, 9, 8, keep the breath flowing, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. The last one, we'll grab the leg and pull the leg in. Slowing that breath in and out. Good. So we're going to bring the knees together. We'll roll up to a seated position. If you like the rolling like a ball, take 3 or 4 cycles of it. When you're happy, let's try to balance in boat pose. Try to make your ankles as long and as straight as possible. So maybe the legs can straighten a little bit, maybe not. Maybe the arms can also straighten. It's up to you. Try to do the very best that you can. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slide the knees wide, grab onto the ankles, and we're setting down to cobbler. This cobbler today is going to be a straight spine. So you absolutely can have hands popping up behind and just hold your spine upright. You could also grab onto ankles and use that grip to help you straighten as you start to tilt forward. So this may not be going as far forward as you normally do, but you'll notice the hips connected quite a bit deeper than before by keeping that spine straight. Now we've got our heater on, so I'm gonna go ahead and bump it off so that way we don't get super heated. Good to get a little warm, not to get overheated. We've got just a few more breaths. Feel free to continue to play with it. Notice what it takes to help get that spine a little bit straighter. Take another good inhale. Exhale, the spine is lifting its way back up. Pull the knees together. Let's go through another boat pose. So trying to get those angles as straight as we possibly can. And 3, 2, 1. Try to lower the straight legs down to the ground. When they touch down, sit the spine up tall into staff pose, maybe even rock around on the hips just a moment to help get some of that flesh removed. And we're sitting up here up tall, the arms staying by the ears. Pause here, a few more breaths, shoulders trying to push down. And 5, 4, 3, 2, last inhale. Exhale, let's take that stretch forward. Once you get there, play with the back again. Try to straighten the very low part of the back. And exhale from that straight angle. See if there's any space to drop just a little bit deeper. What you'll notice if you play in this way is that straightening the spine grabs the sitting bones and kind of pulls it further back. And so in doing that, we're actually helping our hamstrings to get to their full stretch. So you feel it quite a bit deeper there. Got a few more breaths, so just keep on playing with the breaths like that. Inhales and exhales. One more breath in, out. Good. Sitting up tall, bring the arms to float out in front of you. We're gonna lean partway back. And from that angle, we're gonna take almost like a cat-cow. So we round, maybe you can sink a little bit further. And then as we try to straighten, we're gonna allow ourselves to even arch the heart. So you might have to lift up almost to sitting to do the arch. So take that nice and slow a few more times. Cat. And cow. Maybe 2 more. Good, and then sitting back up to staff pose. From here, we take inhale, inhale, inhale. One arm opens up progressively to the deepest twist possible. And then exhale, return right back to center. Second arm, inhale, inhale, inhale to the deepest twist muscularly. Exhale, return. You'll notice the shoulders warming up quite quickly from this. All this warming up that we're doing is gonna help us to stretch ever deeper. That's what I love it when I can warm up my body just straight by muscular strength alone. So let's just go twice more each side. Last each. Good work. Shake the arms out. Spread the legs open. Try to muscularly keep the second toe pointing up as we begin to lean forward with that straight spine again. So this could be hands behind us. It could be hands in front of us. But continuously try to pull that spine straight. Notice how it gets ever deeper in the legs when you do that. It's almost as if one day, maybe distant in the future, but one day, our spine is so straight we can get the heart to touch the floor. The one day eventual goal. More deep belly breaths, nice and slow. Good, walking back in. So from here, let's swing our legs all the way underneath us. As we work on that really tall spine, sometimes our spine becomes stiff and we don't realize it. So this is a chance to wiggle around in any spots of our spine that feel kind of stiff. This could be cat-cow or any other intuitive directions that our spine needs for a moment. Kind of tune in, what is tight, feel all around. Okay, when that feels pretty good, we're gonna aim for a plank. So we're walking the hands forward. This can be on the knees or it can be lifted knees. When we get there, we're gonna do a slow count of 10. So when you're ready, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's try to lower chaturanga. You can drop to knees if needed. And then pause for a little bit in the back bend. Trying to allow the shoulders to drop down so the neck has length. Good. When we head back, it's your choice, child pose or your first down dog. Whatever feels better in the body for a moment. And lowering down to knees, we're all in a kneeling position. So from here, we're taking a kneeling half moon. So let the left toe slide off the left side. The left hand stays down. We pull the right hip up and the right arm up. I'm gonna just switch legs. Yeah, that'll work. So then with this leg, trying to lift as much as you can. Let's allow those right toes to touch down on the ground at the back of the mat, and then lift as much as you can. Good, touching down and up high, high, high. Good, 3 more, down, lift, 2, 1, lift it high. You can either stay or test it to see if you can grab the toes behind your back. Good, 1 more inhale. And exhale, let's release, come to kneeling. We're switching sides. So now the right toe swivel off the right side of the mat. We start to lift that left leg and the left arm. The legs trying to muscularly go high. So 5 cycles, touch the toes and lift. 4, 3, 2, 1. Stay or grab the toes behind your back. Good, and our release. Float the right arm to the sky. And then thread that right shoulder all the way down to the ground. The spine is long and twisting. Your left hand can stretch forward or wrap around the low back, your choice. Left hand slides in, let's press into it. Let's do another little cat and a cow. Good, spine to neutral, left arm floats. And thread that really long arm all the way under and through. This time, right arm chooses stretching forward or wrapping. Okay, slide it in, cat, cow. Good, then as we head up to downward facing dog, it's almost like a cat cow that we're playing with. The idea is first the legs are straight, and we let the back round a little bit, and then the back goes straight and the knees bend a little bit. So it's almost like we're teeter-tottering back and forth. So set up your hands, set up your toes. When you lift the hips, maybe first it's the back straightening and the knees taking a slight bend. And then teeter-totter forward, the legs straighten and the back rounds just a little bit. So it's going back and forth. First, a spine straight. And then the legs straight. So do a few more of those. This will help to loosen up some of those muscle fibers a little bit longer than maybe normal. Then when you're ready, set up to the best down dog that you have, the longest legs and the longest spine. Beautiful, let's float the right leg up to the sky and step the right foot to the outside of right hand. Lowering the back knee down, we're set up for lizard. So in lizard today, the focus on the longest spine possible. I see a lot of people kind of round down to try to drop to elbows, but first set up that straight spine, and then if there's space to maybe lower the left elbow, that's okay. Maybe the right elbow, but don't feel like you have to. Just getting the best that we can. Okay, when we return up onto our hands, let's take a moment to twist this right arm open to the space behind us. Good, feel it winding the spine really long. And then return the right hand to the floor. Tuck the back toes, lifting up the back knee. And then this front leg, even though it's wide, we're gonna do 3 cycles where we slowly straighten that front leg as much as we possibly can. And gently bend it again. The spine is also long. The front leg tries to straighten. And bend. We've got one more. Go straight and try to hold just another extra breath here. Good. Planting the hands. We step that right leg back. This can be child pose, it can be down dog, or it can be a flow. Your choice. Whenever we feel ready for second side, the left leg, we can briefly lift it. Feel that long line. And left foot steps to outside of left hand. The back knee can drop down. Already try to set the spine up in that long angle. Staying on wrists is okay, or fists even. Or if the spine can stay long, maybe right elbow, maybe both. When we're back up, we leave the right hand on the floor, left hand tries to spiral open. Reaching long behind. And when we return, we tuck the back toes, lift up that back knee. The front leg tries to straighten the very best that it possibly can. And let it bend. 2. Last one, hold just a moment longer. And as the leg slides back, once again, child pose, down dog, or a flow, your preference. This will be one of those moments we hold as long as this is still feeling helpful in our body. Whenever we get to the point we're satisfied, you are welcome to start making your way up to the top of the mat. No rush. When we get there, we do want to try to set up our spine straight. So that would usually mean sliding the hands up the shins a lot or a little. Good, so as we're here, let's take one more deep breath in, out, inhale, rise, a slight back bend. You can always bend your knees a little bit if needed. Good. When the hands come to the heart, we're gonna drop left hand to the thigh. The right arm will reach up and over, but lock that arm straight rather than just kind of looping it over. Try to see if straightening the arms pulls the muscles just a little bit deeper in the side ribs. Good, rising back up, and then switch it out. Long, 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 that arm. Beautiful. Rising back up, both arms float up to the sky. Make sure your feet are either under hips or big toes touching. Maybe a slight back bend for just a moment. And then as the hands come to the heart, bend the knees, step back like you're about to go into a chair. So from here, we're going to hook the right wrist and open the left arm, or go all the way to the elbow. If you do elbow, do the prayer position arms. Good. Notice the spine lengthening, and that's what creates that good twist. So then gazing at the floor about a foot in front of the left foot. Shift your weight into the left foot. When it feels like you have balance, the right tries to slide back to a lunge. Good. When you have balance again, slide that foot back forward. We'll do 2 more of those. Sliding right foot back. And forward. And this last time that we go back, stay. Pausing in that twist for one more inhale. And then exhale, gently unwind, rotate that back heel down, sweep the arms up, warrior one. As the hands go to the hips, the front leg straightens. Let's see how deep of a pyramid pose we can get. The hips are absolutely plugging forward. We bend forward, and then the hands are welcome to drop, maybe to the shin or maybe to the floor. We've got length, trying to get established both in the spine and in the front leg. Bending the front knee, sweep the arms up to warrior one. Exhale, open warrior two. And then this left leg straightens out in front of us. Reach the left arm forward, and then triangle pose. That left hand drops to the shin. The right hand reaches up to the sky. Keep the spine rotating open. Okay, when we gently rise, bend that front knee. And then we're going to cartwheel the hands down to the ground. Hop up onto the back toes, lowering onto that back knee. And we're heading to half splits. So the front leg straightens. And once we've got this half split shape set up, try to lengthen the spine. And then see how close you can get the heart to that thigh. Good. So from here, stepping this foot back, we can take child pose, down dog, or a flow, your preference. Eventually from the down dog, we're going to step one foot at a time forward. So this will be a tiny baby step progression up toward the top of the mat. Eventually you will have to round something, but see how long you can keep things for as far as possible. Getting set up eventually when the feet are flat on the ground, back up to that straight spine, however high we have to lift to get there. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, rise. Good. Hands to heart. Let's do that long arm side lean again. So left hand down. Right arm is very straight as it pulls and leans all the way over. And back up. Switch it out. Good. Rising. And then same thing from here. So feet are under our hips or big toes together, your preference. Arms sweep up. Maybe a slight arch back. And then hands at the heart. Send the hips back. Spine is very straight, very long here. So when you're ready, left wrist hooks, opening the right arm, or slip to that elbow. We're trying to get our balance established, so gaze at the ground, maybe a foot in front of the right foot. Shift your weight into right foot. When the balance is there, left can slide back. And forward. 2. And this last one will stay. Pause just a hair longer. Good, and then unwind, rotate that back heel down, warrior one. Hands to the hips, straighten the front leg, and heading toward pyramid. Very, very long spine, very long front leg. Find that best position for the arms to rest. And when front knee bends again, sweep the arms up, warrior one. Inhale. Exhale, warrior two. This time it's right leg that straightens. Reach that right arm as far as you can possibly reach that long angle, and then we can drop it down. Feeling this top leg, this top arm reach, like we're grasping our goal right up the sky. Good, rising up. A slight bend to the front knee, we cartwheel the hands down. Hop up onto the back toes so we can set that back knee down, and then half splits. So this right leg is straight in front of us. We're extending the spine very long, and then dropping the heart closer and closer and closer to that thigh. Good. From this spot, this time, you're gonna plant that front foot, lift up the back knee, and then rotate the feet to the long edge. So we're in that wide angle forward fold. Choose your favorite arm position. Feel both legs getting stretched together. Maybe sometimes play with that low back. See if there's something you can do to find extra length. And then we'll begin a slow return of our feet back to the center. So we'll heel toe the feet in once and then pause. Feel how that one shift readjusts how you feel the muscles. And then heel toe in once and pause. And again. And maybe one or two more before we're back right under the hips. When you get to that spot, lift the hands up to the shins, that halfway lift, that long spine. Good, and then let's rise all the way up. Beautiful. Facing forward. We will either grab underneath this right thigh and kick it long. So if you're doing that variation, it's a very strengthening pose. Or we'll wrap our fingers around the big toe and kick the right leg long to more of the flexibility approach. So either way, whatever you can do, either grabbing to thigh extend or grab the toe and reach. We'll hold for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slow release. Sweep that right leg past you, back behind. Tilt the arms down, standing split. Good. Drop that foot to the floor. Lift up to the straight spine. One inhale. One exhale. Inhale, rise. And hands to heart. Okay, one more side. Left leg length or big toe. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sweep it under and behind. Drop the hands to floor, standing split. Good, dropping the foot down. One more inhale and exhale. And then slide just the right foot back really far, dropping that right knee to the floor. This is kind of our last chance to get a really good stretch here. So this can be the half splits again. Or if you'd like, this can be your chance to start working that front foot forward, closer and closer and closer toward the splits. So it's kind of your choice how deep you want to head here. Find the best stretch you have possible, and then I'll do a countdown from 10. Just keep on breathing. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Easily take this back. Do whatever counter stretch you like. I'm going to do down dog because that helps me to kind of reintegrate my hamstring back in. Good. We've got one more side. So whenever you're ready, begin to step that right foot forward. Setting the back knee down. You get to choose how deep you take this. So continue to play until you find the depth that you like on this side. And then here's a count of 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good work. Ease this leg back. Another chance to do that simple stretch. And when we lower down, we're going to set down onto our glutes. Legs are out in front of us. Let's spread to that open angle again. Again, checking that the second toe is pointing up. So from this wide angle this time, plant the right hand in front of the right leg. Pull the left shoulder back. And then that left arm is going to be that straight angle, trying to go right next to our ear. So this pulls our whole body super long to that side. Now free out the right arm, so you're stretching both arms towards the right leg. Check in with both toes, they're all trying to point up. Good, and then walk the hands to the center. Beautiful. Rising up, one more side, left hand down. Peel this right shoulder back, and then begin to reach the arm. Try to keep it locked long. Freeing out the left arm, we're stretching to the left leg really long. And then back to the center one more time. Can you go a millimeter further than before? Heart's easing its way closer and closer toward the ground. Good work. Gentle, gentle rise up. And so from here, this is our last couple of minutes before Shavasana. So So begin to tune into your body. Any last movements, any last stretches the body would love to take, begin to explore them. And there's no rush to get to Shavasana. Some of us will naturally get there sooner than others. So whenever you arise, sooner or later, perhaps a helpful visualization for today would be thinking of envisioning what it is to be that bird, to be lifting up toward the sky and just flying beautifully and freely directly toward your goal. Nothing to obstruct you, nothing to block you. You're just you and your goal. So just use that deep breath flowing in and out to try to ease our mind toward that space. Begin to deepen inhales and exhales. Introduce little movements back to fingers and toes, ankles and wrists. Stretching out like we're waking up first thing in the morning. Eventually heading toward a nice fetal position to one side. No rush here. Take another 2 or 3 slow, relaxed breaths until eventually you feel ready to rise. Whenever we arise, let's join our hands together in front of our hearts. And in our mind's eye, we'll visualize that direct path. And maybe there's a lot of kind of uncertainty, maybe like darkness that we're walking into with that direct path compared to the path that's much more traveled. But here we can know and we can trust that the highest version of ourselves knows what it's doing to get to that highest vibration. And so by listening to this deeper intuition, it can show us that direct path, that perfect path that's made for us. And so with this line to lead us toward our hopes, our dreams, and toward the best possible imaginable future, let's allow ourselves to wrap up the time we shared together today with the sound of Om. Deep inhale now. May we be filled with light and happiness and peace. Namaste.